Yeah.
Hello guys, welcome back to another YouTube video here today, and we're coming at you with a brand new cache build, and it is Extreme Fire Rate Cache. He just came out with DLC 1. Hope you guys are enjoying DLC 1 as much as I am, and cache. So we're gonna get going over this build. So it is, we put 5 points into Unleashed, gives you 20% fire rate. And then we put 5 points into Shootist, which gives us up to 25% gun damage. Then we put 1 point into Double Teens. This gains cash and an additional augment, which is really nice. So you can equip more than one augment. And then we put 4 points into here to get further down the tree. Then we put 5 points into Lawless, so we can get 45% bonus more kinetic damage. And then we put points into War Wagon. So whenever cache deals kinetic damage to an enemy, he gains a chance to refill ammo into his gun and restore action skill duration with many returns, diminishing returns. So, and then that's really good. So we can keep storing damage, stacking stickies. And then we put 2 points into here, which is Pal Rider, gives us bonus kinetic damage of damage dealt with action skill. Then we put 1 point in here so we can use elemental damage so we can keep shooting with elemental. If you don't put any points in here, and if you use like the dark beast or whatever, it won't keep shooting. You have to put points in here in order for this to work with this. And then we put 5 points in Unshaken. Cash gains increased damage from all sources from every fortune stack he loses. Damage up to 5% of fortune stack loss gives you to get stacks of the 10. And then all portion of cash damage is dealt from enemies is converted into overshield. Whenever cash loses a fortune stack, he shots it from his gun's damage and deals bonus damage equal to his overshield. Overshield 30% damage taken, and then you get bonus damage of 180% overshield, which is actually a lot of bonus damage there, which is really nice. And then we put points in the green tree now. Put 5 into Luck Be Robot. So this gives you action skill cooldown rate with the fortunate stacks up to 20%. And then we put 5 points into elemental damage up to 20% with Windfall being active. Fortune stacks gain a case increase activate Windfall. Fortune skill can increase elemental effect chance. Elemental effect damage. The more fortune bonus that has greater the bonus. Then we put 1 point into here, which this is luckless. So whenever cash activates his action skill near an enemy and bonuses, him and his tonus become Jinx. Jinx enemies take damage, increased damage from all sources, deals decreased damage. So Jinx enemies take all this take more damage, and you take less damage. And then we put 1 more point into Double Teens, where we get another augment slot, so we can have 3 augments. And then we put 3 points into here to get further down the tree. So here is where we put Windfall skill. While Windfall is active, Cash gains lifesteal. If his health is full, he gains overshield instead. And then we put 3 points into Fortune's favor. Cash deals increased gun damage and skill damage. More full his health and overshield, the greater the bonus, which is really, really nice. And now for the gear. So for mobbing, we're using the Wombo combo. For the crystals for Bloom and Ordinate enemies, the bosses, we are using the linebacker, which is really nice because it takes out the crystals really quickly and does lots. It does a lot of damage. And then we're using the bod for a lot of our bossing action here. And the dark beast, we're using a Slippy grenade. So the reason we're using the slippy grenade, we'll explain why in a little bit. But there we are using the slippy grenade. And then we're using the shiny war paint with fire rate. So we have 30% fire rate from the shiny war paint. And then we also get extra fire rate from the shiny war paint. And then we're using pounder, head ringer, guns with torque, lights, and parts. Gain 25% increased damage, 100% damage radius, shotgun fire rate, shotgun splash radius, and shotgun magazine size. And then we have the triple siphon super soldier, which is really nice for this build. And then we're using the happy go lucky wind rider. So this puts the points in the from gloom to glow. So whenever Cash kills an enemy with a critical hit a gun, he has doubles his fortune stacks. Otherwise, killing an enemy with a gun drains half of Cash's fortune stacks. Whenever Cash gains fortune, he restores 5% of his maximum health. Whenever Cash loses fortune stacks, he gains 8% over max overshield. So, and this one has 35% gun damage and 23% damage dealt. We're using 3 Deadeyes, and we're using 2 Airstrike for extra splash damage and splash radius. And then for specializations, we are using the best defense. You could actually swap that over to here. So we're going to use bullets to scare me, the best defense. And then you're using riddle you this, and now we're using CQC. So the reason we're using CQC, whenever of all hunter deals melee damage, it gives you increased fire rate. So when you throw the slippy, you get increased fire rate. But your totems can actually activate your fire rate skill though. But it doesn't always do it though. But it can. I hope you guys enjoy this video. Make sure you leave a like and subscribe. Leave a comment down below. And I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.